it is, when I look back, when I look at how we started, there were 3 pillars of support. One more pillar is on the way. We will, I'm just going to digress for 10 seconds. While we talk about all the Gen AI solution, I think there is one use case which will put Gen AI to test Bangalore traffic. Yeah? So I think that's the reason why the 3rd pillar is missing. We'll get there later.
So Google doesn't work?
No, it doesn't work.
In Bangalore, right. Okay.
So, well, Kamal, first I just wanted to ask you your reflections of the journey, and 50%, more than 50% of Captive's business is India-centric.
Yeah.
Now, Gen AI is going to revolutionize. So, your perspective of how do you think it's going to impact India as a market in general, Captives in particular?
Sure. So, 2 questions. How do I reflect on this 5 years journey? And fortunate enough to stand here with these 2 stalwarts, one who executed the journey and one who strategized the journey. I was just the bookkeeper. So that's how I see both of them as. Fundamentally, we made a change in our model. We took the entire Captives out from our general business in India. I look after the entire business, but we said, if the Captives have to grow and the general business has to also grow parallelly, we need to put these 2 as 2 pillars. It was like saying that what happens to the clients in India and what happens to Captives in India are 2 separate verticals. One same individual cannot, or one same team cannot do justice to both because they're very different demands. So as a leader, it was a kind of a very difficult decision for us to kind of slice and dice the teams and then put them into different models. And it was for the good. Now, if I look back, this entire 5-year journey, the focus on setting the team separately, trying to understand you as your organizations as to what your needs and what your demands are, putting that focus probably has helped reach where we are. So thank you all for being part of the journey, and thank you, Mayur, for driving it. But it has done what? It has done 2 important things for us as an organization. A, it does set us up for recognition in the Captives world. In the GCC world, I would use that word more continuously here. But also, the rest of the business in India gained a lot from the work that you as a Captives are doing, and the people who work on your projects, they carry that experience, they carry that knowledge, and it helped us take the same knowledge, same capabilities for the rest of the country. And it gives me a lot of immense value to see the kind of synergies the GCC business and the rest of the business have in terms of the knowledge, the talent, the capabilities exchange and share. And then on top of that, we are able to grow the business multifold in the last 3 to 4 years. I guess that speaks of it. Coming back to the point, the second point which you made, the impact. So Mayur, and this goes for all the GCC leaders here as well as for IBM. What got us here will not take us where we want to be 5 years down the line. It's a very different journey. And maybe the next journey is far more challenging, far more difficult than what we are thinking here. The essence and the core of this is, I would still say that the entire change in the mindset, the entire change in the ways of working, the entire change in the strategy of you and your organizations, which Gen AI is going to bring in. It is no more a labor arbitrage for sure. Of course, in the last 5 years, we have said that loud and clear that Captives or GCCs are not a labor arbitrage. It is more of a technology arbitrage. But having said that, today it's the point of inflection. From here onwards, it's 100% technology arbitrage. It's no more a labor arbitrage. If any of us are still living in that world where we're thinking that it is a talent arbitrage or it is a labor arbitrage, things will be very difficult 6 months down the line. I don't want to give anybody more than 6 months in this world if you are still staying in that game. Until unless you take over the technology arbitrage world and start taking this journey in a way that how you are bringing the change in your organization, your solutions, your capabilities, and make AI as a center for it, we will have a different world. Because now the focus is who can adapt AI faster. AI is given. Gen AI is given, and it's proven itself. It doesn't require to be tested anymore. It's about how you experience and how do you put it to work. Those who are going to create solutions, those who are going to migrate your current solutions would be the winners here. The second thing is the journey. Now, goodness is the captives, the GCCs in India have pioneered the art of hyper-automation. Now, if you look at this journey, it probably started 10 to 15 years back with automation, led to hyper-automation, followed by AI in a different form, and now Gen AI. The organizations who have adapted automation and have moved towards hyper-automation are going to definitely be the advantaged for the Gen AI journey, because they have that experience of how to put automation at play, same experience, same capabilities, but with a more intense impact would come handy. So Mayur, it's a kind of a point of inflection where existence of all of us in this room would be challenged 6 months down the line. So what got us here will not take us there, right? So that's where it is.
I have to...
It's a 6 months crisis.
This is not the first time I'm hearing this from Kamal. It's the first time I'm hearing it. He's telling this in front of everybody. But he has been telling me this for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
You don't have a long rope.
You don't have a long rope here.
You don't have a long rope here. I think in the context of GCC, it's true. The entire GCC as an industry, I think we just got to get to where.
Yeah. So how quickly you can move your existing talent to a Gen AI? How you can move your existing solution into Gen AI? How do you start showing productivity? Technology is the center, is the center for all organizations, is the front end, is a core business for many of the organizations. And core business is getting impacted. So tremors will be felt everywhere.
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you. Santosh, founding father of GCC in India. If I say reflections, I know how you will start, because it's been a long, successful journey. Let me put the question for you, Santosh. Today, you are performing a role at a global level. You have a global perspective of what GCCs are all about. What are you seeing as the trends of GCC for 2024?
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of things about global which I will mention about, but first of all, like seeing all of you in this number was a real dream, and thanks to all of you for making that dream real. My actually first step of strategy when we decided about 7 years back for this, we dreamt together, and that time actually it was actually very hazy dream as to what exactly we will do it at a global scale. We never wanted to only India focused, and that's where we wanted to engage with your global counterparts. And that's where the journey started. The most important thing and the first element that came from clients, and that time it was a very small room gathering where there were about 15-20 team members with, the clients who were there with our SVP Mark Foster in the room in Bangalore itself. The first point which clients mentioned that time is that how IBM can help us. IBM can help us in only one way, and then you elaborate. That's what was client's point of view, that you guys know our organizations more than what we know about our own organizations. So that was the starting point. And when we decoded that, there were so many truths behind that. And that's where actually we were forced to not just start this only India focused, and focusing only on GCCs in India, but take it at global scale and help clients to work with your counterparts globally, and then help to expand this GCC elsewhere in the rest of the world. Now coming to the trends which I'm seeing in my role, I'm not putting statistics around these trends, because some of these are the trends which are driven by so many other industry parameters than just GCC and the talent related areas. The first important thing which I'm seeing, and that is a change which I'm seeing after especially COVID, is GCCs are becoming multi-locational. So it is not just one India centric. Many clients today, when they're embarking on this journey, or those who have already established GCCs, they are thinking of taking GCCs to other locations as well. Whether it can be Philippines, it can be Central Eastern Europe, it can be even the developed countries as well. The other important thing which I'm seeing is that GCC has become a way of working, and that's where GCC is moving from the conventional global capability center to a global transformation center. And that's where, whatever it takes to call itself as a transformation center, all those things have started happening in GTCs. So just to give example, like for example, anybody in auto industry here can correlate to this, is auto is becoming a mobile on a wheel. So anything that is needed to convert that, like is all needs to be done, and that's where who is going to realize that dream is, like the global leaders are looking at GCC's type of setups to realize that dream. You take any banking example for that matter, or any product company for that matter, everybody is moving towards platforms. So these platforms are to be built over here, and these platforms are not monitoring, they are there for monetizing. So there are various different revenue mechanisms which are actually coming in place, which are delivered from these GCCs. The third important element which I am seeing is hunger for manpower is shifting to hunger for talent. And let me elaborate this, like how this is happening is, day before yesterday, there is one center which is inaugurated in Hyderabad. I think you might have seen, and this is a public news, FedEx, like they started this journey. The very day, the CEO of the organization went to IIT Bombay, went to IIT Madras to inaugurate the similar center of competence, which will take the logistics initiative to a very different stage. So the money which he committed for his center, the more money he committed for these centers which are to be established in these campuses. If you see, if I had to correlate this to a very disturbing fact where industry academia collaboration, IIT Delhi ex-director, he came up with a study as to where the innovation starts and where the innovation ultimately lands. His point of view was that the innovation, especially in academics, starts in library, and unfortunately, in terms of a white paper, it resides in the library itself. So there is no one to show a day of light to that. So that's another trend that I'm seeing, is that where many companies have started reaching out to these academias to show day of light to the research which they are doing. So, I mean, to all of you actually, if takeaway from this is how do we collaborate and work with these academicians to sort of develop that talent, take that ownership of research which these guys can do for all of us. So that's important. Another thing is no point in shying away from the global responsibilities. There are many GCCs here in Bangalore. One of the large GCC, their global CIO is going to operate from Bangalore. So all these roles are going to get opened for all of you. So it's very, very important. That's a new trend. Again, I'm seeing where the leadership, not just in IT, but non-IT leadership also is coming from here. Coming to Gen AI and the newer areas which are there, as I mentioned, global transformation centers, that's the journey for GCCs. If that is the case, the most important thing is going to be like how these newer trends, like whether it is hybrid cloud, whether it is Gen AI, how we are going to deliver it from this particular location. So these are a few points which I see as a major changes which are there. Cost arbitrage is the past. Whatever is coming is the transformation journey. And I'm sure all of you are having first-hand experience of driving this. So collaborating amongst each other at a global scale, working with, it's not do everything yourself. Like leverage every possible help which comes to your way. That's the new trend which I'm seeing in the market. So thanks, Mayur, for this question. Very important question.
Thank you, Santosh. Kamal, thank you. Once again, look, before I let you go, I just want to call out one more thing. All this we do, it's a talent business, right? There is one backbone support that we continuously get as part of the talent support. I just want to call out the person who is supporting us to ensure that whenever we go and ask something, I never get the answer no. It's always an yes. Let's see how to make it happen. So Usha, thank you very much for being with us all along and making us successful.